G'day all, it's Brother Blonde. Here's my hand, hello. I've just had a request from one of my subscribers. His name is Boobtubeviewer, to give you a bit of a walk around of the Blade 400, or a bit of a stroll around, or a bit of a tiptoe around. So I thought I would do that for you. He basically asked, in layman's terms, to give people a bit of an idea about the jargon used in helicopter flight and how the controls work, how they fly, etc, etc, etc. So what I'm going to do is just very, very quickly and simply show you how everything works. Now you can see there the top of the helicopter there's a lot of linkages and all sorts of weird things. That basically controls the helicopter's movement. Now first of all, what causes a helicopter to fly? Well, these big things here, the rotors. Essentially they are just a wing. You can see the shape of it there. The way a wing works, quite simply, is curved at the top and, for all intents and purposes, flat at the bottom. What that means is the air going over the top has to go faster than that going over the bottom to create the correct equilibrium of pressure. Now, in going faster, it creates a lower pressure than the air below it, causing the thing to rise. That's essentially how a wing works. So all these are wings that spin around. Now, I apologise if I get the chopper out of shot occasionally, because I've got the viewfinder on my camera flipped around, so I'm looking at it in reverse. So, what causes the helicopter to go up? Well, if you imagine, where's my hand? There's my hand. Imagine my hand is the wing and it's going across that way. If I tilt it up and move it, essentially what I'm doing is creating a more of a curve over the top than there was originally. So that means that there's a greater reduction in pressure over the top, which lifts the whole wing. So if we lift both of these rotors at the same time, the whole helicopter is going to go up. Now we do that with what's known as the collective. Let me just move that out of the way so you can see. Now you can see this little circular thing here with the little blue bit above it. It's called a swash plate. Now you might even be able to see my controller there. Yeah, I've just got my forefinger on it. Oh, now I've got the blade in the way. Now if I push my controller there, can you see that blue thing moving? The whole lot of it is moving at the one time. And what that does, if I show you the rotor now, I can get it in shot, it will, see that? It's moving it up, just as my hand did a moment ago. And because this whole swash plate is moving, how do I put it, all of it's moving at the one time, both blades move up at the same amount and increase lift on all parts of the rotor, so up the thing goes. Now if I want to, say, tilt the helicopter that way, or the official term is bank it, I need to increase the lift only on, say, one side. So if I want to tilt the helicopter that way, in other words, tilt it like that, I have to increase the lift on this side. So that would involve changing the swash plate over here, and if you can see it on camera, I'm doing that with one of the sticks on the controller. If I tilt it that way, I need to increase the lift on this side by doing with the same stick, just turning it the other way, and you should see that side of the swash plate move up.
I can't see it.
And that was little Mrs. Minnie baby brother.
No!
Blonde.
Little Mrs. Minnie Brother Blonde.
Yeah, I'll get it right one day, probably on your 21st birthday.
Ah!
Okay. Now the same applies for going forwards and backwards. I simply move the stick so it tilts the swash plate forwards and backwards. And what that will do, it will increase the lift on the rotor that is, how will I explain this better? Say I push the stick forward to go forward. You can see that's the back of the swash plate there. The back of that will go up, and what that will do will increase the lift on the blade that is at the back of the helicopter before tilting it that way. And so I should have explained that with the banking. It increases the lift on the side that you want to go up. And then as that blade continues round to the opposite side, it then goes back to its original angle and then comes back around to the higher angle when it reaches that original spot or something. Now, the little tail rotor at the back has a vital role as well. Newton's, one of his laws says to every action there's an opposite and equal reaction. So if we have the blades spinning around in that they are loose, so they're not actually broken, they're just designed to be loose so they flop around when they're slow. But if I have the blades turning that direction, the natural reaction for the helicopter is to turn that direction. And with nothing controlling that, then the helicopter will be uncontrollable. So what we have on the back are these tail rotors, which are, I'll turn it on its side, try and get it back in frame, little wings, creating the same type of lift that the main rotors create, except in a sideways plane. And so they push the air in the appropriate direction, left or right, to stop the helicopter doing that. And this is really hard doing this sideways. Now, with all helicopters, the motor is also linked to the up and down, or the collective. So as you push the collective up to go up, the motor increases power to maintain your power, if that makes sense. I don't know how well this is explained at all. If it has explained it, great. If not, let me know and I'll try and do another one in English. So I'll see you guys later out on the flying field or on the motorbike. Bye.